Physical media. Is it dead or is it alive? In 2025, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K UHD Blu-rays are all currently in production. And today I'm going to be talking about the history of some of these physical media formats, what sales for them have been like in the last few years, the impact of streaming, and much more. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Ecto-Violence channel. My name is Alec. This is Darwin. Today, the question is, physical media, dead or alive? If you watch this channel regularly, or if you're new, you'll see that I'm a big physical media collector myself. Now, there's lots to go over, but the first thing I did want to talk about is VHS. The first VCR was released in 1976 by JVC. By 1997, it grew to more than a $5 billion a year industry. Now, as you know, DVD was introduced in the 90s. By 2001, they had intersect. VHS sales were down, DVD sales were up. By 2005, VHS sales totaled less than $1 billion a year. That same year, DVD and Blu-ray totaled over $15 billion together. By 2012, VHS was dead. DVD and Blu-ray were under $10 billion, and rental and digital purchases with streaming were up to about $2 billion each, totaling around $4 billion. And by 2022, streaming had taken over everything, hitting over $30 billion a year. Meanwhile, Blu-rays, 4K, and DVD combined are under $2 billion. Now, this in itself isn't news. These are just kind of some facts and statistics. The interesting thing to me is they don't account for the used market. This doesn't include, like, collectors. Most of the stuff I buy is used. I mean, don't get me wrong, I buy a lot of new stuff too. But the amount of times I'm going out buying old VHS tapes, those aren't getting added to these sales. Like, these are numbers of new releases. What I do find interesting is in 2023, steelbooks were up 25% from the year before. This just means that the collector market is growing for these things, while the casual market is still going down. Now, hopefully, the collector market will continue to grow up. Obviously, there's lots of boutique labels. I review some stuff from boutique labels on this channel. Most recently, Rumpelstiltskin. Pretty soon here, I'm going to be doing Arrow Video's release of Deep Blue Sea. Hell, VHS is actually back. And there's not necessarily a way to track all these numbers, but I guarantee, VHS sales are going up these last few years, too. Now, it's not going to ever probably equate to even $1 billion again. Something that's interesting that's wrapped up all together with this is the best-selling home video market. Lion King, Finding Nemo, Snow White, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and most of these were VHS releases. In fact, if you look at Lion King's money, the top-selling home video release of all time, it's going to be a VHS that got it most of its money. Further down the list, you've got Titanic, Jurassic Park, Spider-Man. Another hint that the collecting market is actually doing a lot better these days is if you take a look at Reddit communities. The communities of these DVD and Blu-ray subreddits rapidly increased starting in 2020. Now, obviously, you can assume some of this is part of COVID, but it hasn't slowed down since. And when we're talking about collector markets, a good example, the best example for physical media is going to be vinyl. Now, it's not a movie, it's music, but it's physical media. Vinyl peaked with over $350 million in a year in the 70s. In 2008, it started and has continued to go up, and is now a $43 million a year industry again. Now, obviously, that's not even as high as it was in the 70s, but it's a very interesting collector's market, and it's pretty mainstream now. And if we're talking about vinyl, let's talk a little bit about CDs as well. CDs peaked around the year 2000, but in 2021 increased for the first time since 2005. Now, I couldn't find any more recent data than that. Probably could have if I looked harder, but it's fascinating because printed books kind of seems to go in a little wave. It goes up and down, but it seems pretty steady in that. So let's talk about each of these separately. VHS, first of all. A lot of the market now is secondhand. Most of it is. It's almost entirely that. Now, new VHS tapes are being manufactured, but in very small doses by very small companies. And there's people like boutique VHS labels. Some of those people use new VHS tapes. Some of them will just straight up record over old movies, recycling tapes. Some of them will find new, old stock blank cassette tapes that you could buy. Personally, I think that's the way to do it, or with new VHS tapes, even better. And you know, it's one thing to sit here and compare VHS to vinyl. Like I was there for the vinyl resurgence, and I have a bunch of vinyl. I don't really go out of my way to buy a bunch anymore. I also buy cassettes. I have a decent little cassette collection. And some of these labels, like TerraVision, that put out the Rumpelstiltskin 4K, they also put out cassettes and vinyl and stuff. So obviously, vinyl has become borderline mainstream again. Like I said, a $43 million a year industry, which is still pretty crazy. That being said, it's still smaller than Blu-ray, 4K, and DVD combined. But again, when comparing it to VHS, VHS is never going to be that. Even, I'm saying that as 2024, we had the first Walmart VHS in, 20 years? Almost 20 years? We had the second in 2025, and hopefully more to come. I just don't think that VHS will ever grow to be what vinyl is. It is way more niche than vinyl, I think. However, I do hope the collector's stuff continues to come. Stuff like the Terrifier VHS at Walmart in bigger batches, hopefully, so there's not 3 at each Walmart that everybody is trying to murder each other for and then reselling for $100 on eBay. As far as DVD goes, I still buy tons of used DVDs, either thrifting for, a few bucks. If it's a movie that I don't think I need on any higher quality format, I'll buy it on DVD. If it's a movie that's only available on DVD, I've got it on DVD. And I usually prioritize buying new stuff as opposed to upgrading. Now I will upgrade stuff. I'm not like, I don't upgrade stuff, but like I have Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th series only on DVD at this point. This year, I plan to upgrade Friday the 13th to Blu-ray and Nightmare on Elm Street to 4K. Why not upgrade to Friday the 13th to 4K also? I just don't like it as much, and I'm gonna just get that Shout Factory set. That's the one I want. For Nightmare on Elm Street, I think I'm gonna get that new Steelbook set that's coming out. Or at least the version that's not the Steelbooks. In regards to Blu-ray, I think this is a top-tier format. Like, you don't need to go 4K unless you want to. 4K can be fun. It can be interesting. But it's not entirely necessary, I don't think. I think Blu-ray is a perfectly good way to watch a movie. And as we get into the discussion between Blu-ray and 4K, obviously we're just going to bring up the scan of the movie. That's what's most important. Put the disc in. Does it look good? Do you think it looks good? Okay, then you're good with it. It looks good. If you put it in and it looks bad to you. In conclusion, physical media is very much still alive. It is becoming a more interesting niche, very collectible. Sales are continuing to go down for it. However, movies on physical media is still doing better than vinyl. Streaming's got its hooks in everybody now. Convenience is where it's at for most people. And sure, I stream plenty of stuff. Some stuff you can't stream though. People will say, well, I can just torrent it. Sure, have fun with that. I'm just gonna pop in a physical copy anytime I want for the next, 30 or 40, 50 years, whatever, however long I live. Hell, 5 years, whatever. Let me know what you guys have to add to the conversation in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.